Thank you for joining us on Now You Know's The Movie Show, where we are going to talk about Season 7, Episode 2 of Game of Thrones. Now, there's going to be lots of spoilers, so if you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Then come back. So,
let's talk about it.
Let's talk about Ed Sheeran. He wasn't in the show.
Yes! Thank the Lord.
You got your wish.
Yes. Thank the Lord of the Light, honestly.
Exactly.
Like, he is gone. Goodbye, Ed Sheeran.
For now.
To the old gods.
For now. I think he's gone.
In this week, right? So
I feel like it was just a cameo.
He's going to come back and get killed.
Yeah.
At some point.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah, there's going to be like a little battle, and like they're going to be this thing, and
maybe Arya will find him. He's already dead for some reason. You know,
but they can't just like have him disappear without killing him. You know.
But the funny thing is, he was not the main guy in the.
He wasn't
in the group.
Yeah, he was the singer.
It was the right, but like he didn't have any lines really besides like one.
Well, it was
besides when he dropped the camera.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a new song.
The one where he dropped the single.
All right, before I forget, we had predictions last week.
Yeah, we did.
Did any of our predictions come true?
I don't think so.
Okay, so did any of our viewers' predictions come true? Because we said that the best prediction would get a prize.
I'm not my phone.
Right.
Okay, maybe the Greyjoy have to impress Cersei by helping them out in a war in the future. Cersei said that they needed allies, so they might just accept the 1,000 ships.
That goes on the possible winning list.
It does kind of go on the possible
list. That sort of happened.
That sort of happened.
You're on there. Okay.
This one is definitely a no. I'm sorry, but it starts off with, I believe the Hound Group will start building something, a weapon or a trap.
We didn't see the Hound Group.
Yeah, sorry.
Good guess.
Next episode, the Hound will see a White Walker.
I know, we wanted to see the Hound, but he wasn't in the episode.
No Hound.
They're saving it.
Let's see. Prediction. Euron Greyjoy will bring back the heads of the Sand Snake girls to please Cersei in revenge for her daughter's death. Given Cersei's hate for enemies, and especially with the loss of her children, this will please, and Euron will be in. I think that's pretty
close. The winner right there. Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't. He didn't bring back the heads yet. That would probably be the next episode.
Kill the Sand Snake girls.
If you also bring back the attached bodies, that is still technically.
All right, I think so. Who is our lucky winner?
That was David Glotfelty.
All right. Well, David, you have won the headphones. Message us privately, and we will get your address and get these out to you. Very good guess. Very good job.
David. Good guess.
Awesome.
I hope he secretly works on Game of Thrones.
Maybe
he just goes around looking on YouTube and it's like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah. We're going to check the credits. He could be the assistant producer or something.
Sure. He will. But
all right.
Now you got some headphones. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump in.
So, Arya is met by someone we did not expect in the forest.
What was his name?
Let's see if Nick can figure out who it was.
Well, I know it's not Ed Sheeran because he's not in the episode, and I know it's not the Hound because he's also not in the episode.
He's using his deductive reasoning.
What was his name?
And that's about all the people I know. So
Pat Pie Meat. What was his name?
What, the kid?
Yeah.
That's not who he's talking about, though. He's talking about in the woods.
I was saying in the forest, but you're right.
It was important that she bumped into, what's his name? The Baker man.
That was my guess,
Okay, I forget his name, but yeah.
And we learned some cooking tips, which is important. So brown that butter first.
Yes. But what's interesting is that Arya doesn't know about Jon Snow.
Now, that was a little unrealistic to me. She's been traveling the forest, meeting up with merry men and so forth, and she didn't hear the big news. Like, wouldn't everyone be talking about this big news?
I don't know.
Where is she traveling?
I feel like she's been on the run for a long time now, though, so I feel like she could really be out of the loop. And she's been so focused on killing all these people who she feels have wronged her.
And on eating pies quickly.
And eating. She does eat very quickly. She's got to be careful. She's going to choke one of these days.
Yeah.
But, no, seriously, though, I feel like she's just been, her whole storyline has been revenge. And that's been her, sole focus since, season 1 now, practically.
And she's somewhat in the know. I mean, she knows that the Boltons took the North.
No,
that's old news.
It's not that old news, though. It's old news, but at least she knows that. You know what I mean?
I
was surprised that she didn't know that she still had the North completely.
Right.
But
but I'm just saying, it is sort of weird that those troops or whatever wouldn't have known. Right. They wouldn't be like, isn't that amazing that Jon Snow took the North back? I'm Jon Syrian.
True, but I mean, I don't know if they would just bring it up in conversation just because.
Let me write a song about it.
Yeah. She might assume that they might assume that she would know. You know. Right. especially if she's from the north.
Where is she traveling right now? Like, what part of Westeros is she
She was
in?
going to King's Landing to kill Cersei.
Right, so
she turned around to go to
But where
Winterfell.
was she coming from?
Like Winterfell-ish?
She was coming from the House Frey.
Which is in the middle.
Riverland.
Yes.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's sort of in the middle. It's in this bottleneck area of Westeros, which is where the twins are, which is why that was such an important location to begin with, because it's such a bottleneck. Whoever has the twins kind of controls that area,
Yeah,
so
so
it's
they
important to
let
be
them
allied
through and-
with whoever's in that area.
Okay,
so
so
that's kind of where she was, sort of heading south from there, and now she seems like she's kind of doing a U-turn and heading back up north to get to.
She's got to have gone through that bottleneck and then back.
Probably, though I don't know
through the north?
if it's as important. It's more important as like a military strategic place, because
Yeah.
for armies to go through, they really need to be able to access the twins to be able to go through it easily.
But I mean,
one
like,
person can probably go around it without much trouble.
Right.
Who's controlling it now that
I
the
don't think
Freys are all
anyone
dead?
is.
Yeah,
Oh.
the Freys are gone.
The Freys are dead. I guess the Freys' wives who were left there.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe they're fending for themselves right
That
now. I'm
could
not
come
sure.
in handy later.
Yeah, someone needs to take over that. Yeah.
So she's going to try and go back to see her brother. Her brother's now going south, so
Yeah.
that maybe they'll meet.
Maybe they'll
or
cross paths, or either that or she'll miss him and end up just seeing Sansa up there.
I think we're going to get an Arya-Sansa reunion, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I would like to see her get back to Winterfell, and because Arya's been like a lone wolf for a while now, right? I mean, she's
Pretty
been
much the entire show.
Yeah, she's
Lone
been
Wolf. Now let's talk about that. So
Yes.
let's get back to
Yeah.
she meets up with her direwolf.
Yeah.
But it doesn't appear that the direwolf is remembering her that
Yeah.
well.
Either that or just doesn't care. I mean, she is ostensibly like abandoned her wolf, though for good reasons, because she was trying to save her from being killed. But does the wolf understand that? I don't know.
I think the wolf, in a way, I mean, she didn't eat her horse, so I think
didn't
that
eat
she,
her.
and didn't eat her. I think she
true.
knew who she was, and she remembered, and she was like,
Do you
let's
think-
just go our separate ways?
Do you
here.
think the direwolf? What's her name again?
Numaria?
Numaria.
Numaria.
Yeah.
Is Numaria going to come back into play at some point in the future, like to save her life? Do you think? I feel,
Possible.
I feel
Yeah,
like it
maybe
could
when the
happen.
White Walkers get beyond the wall, maybe.
I mean, you got a super pack of wolves there. That could be powerful.
That's
in
pretty
a war.
cool. That'd be pretty cool to see some wolves battling it out with
A
White
giant
Walkers.
White Walker giant or something. You never know.
But I think that Numaria really realized that Arya was a lone wolf.
There's some
Like,
good
that's
symmetry there between the two of them.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Numaria has her own pack, and she's like, you are a lone wolf.
Yeah. Either that or now Arya needs to find her own pack. The
Ooh.
Starks.
Yeah, wow.
in the north.
Wow, we're getting
Yeah.
a lot
there you
of
go.
The
deepness
Starks.
at it.
Yeah.
But Arya didn't even know her family was alive, which is really cool that, they're going to maybe have a reunion soon. And I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
That's going to be really cool.
All
Unite
right,
the North.
now let's talk about
Unite the
Sam.
North.
Sam is about to do some major surgery
Ooh,
in this episode.
that was
Everything-
us.
He was doing
Everything with Sam is so gross this season.
Yeah, the
I know,
pus. That was really funny. They did the same thing they did with the poop scene in episode 1.
Right.
They showed the knife going in
Yeah.
the pus, and then it became the soup or whatever.
Yeah.
That was really weird. Why do they keep doing this?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what they're trying to tell us with this.
Yeah, it's
but,
weird.
It is weird.
It must mean something in some way.
What I'm wondering now is, like, how does Jorah factor into the bigger picture? Because I felt like at the end of the last season when he kind of went off, that was kind of the end of his story. I'm having a hard time kind of seeing where he fits in the grander scheme of all of this.
Well, I mean, he's still in love with Daenerys, right?
Sure,
So,
there's a wrinkle there.
So I mean, she loves him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she didn't want him to go.
Right.
So, he could
Maybe something
ostensibly
with that.
help out. I mean, he's going to save her, I think, at some point. Don't you think? Like,
It's possible that
Maybe
he'll
have
be
to
there in
sacrifice
one of the
himself to
wars.
save her in some way.
I think so.
That
I
could
don't
be
think
what-
he's going to make it through the show. I
so
really
if
don't.
someone came into your cell and was like, "I'm going to rip off all your skin, bite down on this, be totally quiet."
Okay, but look, you have this uncurable disease.
And he was contemplating killing himself too.
Right. I mean, he was moments away from. He was writing his death letter.
He was
right?
looking at the sword. He was looking back at the letter. You could tell he was like, "Should I just end it now?"
Right, and if he didn't, he'd be sent off to a place with a bunch of
Yeah, old Valeria. Yeah.
So I mean, it's his only shot. I
Pretty
don't know
much.
if I could be quiet though. Also, just knock me out if you're going to do that to me.
Exactly.
He's like, here's like a little bit of alcohol.
Yeah, you don't have a little chloroform, just a little sniff
Yeah.
out, Come
That's,
on, you got all
yeah.
kinds of other stuff there in Old Town. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
But it was in a way satisfying. They were taking off.
We need to ask Nick.
Yes.
Nick, why was he having his skin torn off?
Well, I mean, you said he had a disease, so I'm assuming it's something like, well, a little worse than leprosy, I assume.
Guess what the disease is called?
Lepra B.
Wow,
I like it better. I like that better. It's grayscale, but I like it better.
Yes, it is grayscale.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's only like weeks away from getting to his brain and turning him into a zombie.
Well, a stone man.
Oh, there's
The
zombies
Stone
in this
Man
show too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's many
there are
zombies.
many zombies. Yeah.
All kinds of different types of zombies.
Yeah.
Frankly, Game of Thrones does zombies better than The Walking Dead does now.
They do.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Speaking of zombies, so we didn't get any White Walkers this week, right?
Yeah.
Can't have him every week, Bob.
Yes, I'm glad though. I'm glad we kind of took a break from that. But it seems like it's interesting that we've gotten this moment where Jon Snow is now aware of Daenerys. Daenerys is aware of Jon Snow, and it's like they're gonna meet up. Like, but what's gonna happen? I'm also curious to see what happens with Sansa and Jon Snow, because I feel like now that Jon Snow's gone, they were already butting heads. You know, now I'm thinking with Sansa alone with Littlefinger.
Oh,
Jon
and
Snow
Littlefinger
away.
just got his...
Just got his neck broke almost.
He did, but I think he
that.
wanted that.
So, wait, what?
I think he wanted that.
He wanted
Really?
Jon
Yes.
to get
He
mad
wouldn't
at
have
him?
said... He wouldn't have
He
said that
wants
bullshit.
Jon Snow to be against him.
Wait, so why would Littlefinger want Jon Snow to be mad at him and almost get his neck broken?
Okay, so I think that, you know, we saw this with Ned Stark all the time in season 1. He would grab the same scene. He grabbed Littlefinger and he pushed him up against the wall. That's part of Littlefinger's game. I think that Littlefinger knows Jon Snow's not going to kill him. Okay. I think that when he walks out of the dungeon and sees Sansa and he's looking at her, I think he was, you know, thinking in his head, good, I'm creating a rift. Jon Snow doesn't like me. He's going to get mad at Sansa for listening to Littlefinger. He's creating a division. I think that Littlefinger wants that. I think that there's something deeper going on there.
I think he really did want a moment alone with Jon to give him some, like, to plant some seed, and he never got a chance to. I could be wrong.
I don't know. I mean, that's just...
You think
I think
he's
that
feeling
it's too
guilt,
obvious.
guilt for, you know, having not done right by the other two women? Or I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm not sure what Littlefinger's end game is here. I do appreciate the fact that this is now 3 Starks in a row that have kicked the crap out of Littlefinger.
Yes,
in his
I
life.
want to see them kill him, though, you know?
Brandon Stark, you know, the oldest brother Stark, who was, you know, killed before the show started. That's his whole story. Is he beat the crap out of him for, like, coming on to what's it, Catelyn?
Yes.
Basically because he was like betrothed to Catelyn or whatever, but she was betrothed to him. Then Ned Stark kicks the crap out of him in the early goings of the show, and now Jon Snow. This is just a theme for him.
Yeah,
This is Stark's kind
can't
of
figure out
up in his grill.
how he fits into the show. Like, I know he saved, you know, Jon Snow in the battle of the
I mean,
bastards,
he
but
controls a lot of what goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, Joffrey dying. Like,
he is like a key, like a bishop kind of piece that, you know.
Right. Bold prediction, I don't think Littlefinger makes it out of this season. I think he dies before the end of the season.
I hope so.
There was a lot of killing in this episode.
Yeah.
We lost a lot of Dorne. I guess, is that kind of the end of Dorne?
Thank God the Sand Snakes are gone. Except there was, I think, one daughter left, and then the
we didn't
mother.
see the
Mother, right.
Ilaria there. We didn't see either of them die.
Oh, and I guess the sister
Yara, we didn't see her die either.
I feel like she's gonna stay on, and then also what's his name in the water? The brother Theon. So Theon's in the water.
Reek.
Reek
Now he's back.
reared his ugly
Well,
head.
okay. Do you think that was honestly like he was having a flashback and he jumped in the water, or do you think that he did that just to survive another day? Like,
I mean, you could see the gears
I
ticking
feel like
in
there's a
his
little
head.
bit of a post-traumatic sort of situation there. He just freaked out.
although I'm
going
gonna say, if I was in his shoes, I would have done the same thing. I mean, you're gonna get killed either way. Like, jump off the
That was a
ship.
pretty good move.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that is
pretty smart. Yeah, save yourself
fight
in that
another day.
situation.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Fair
that
enough.
was that they were wiped out. So.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
go ahead.
I'm going to make a prediction. I do not think that the Sand Snakes or was it Ilaria
Ilaria, yep.
are going to survive the next episode. I think he's going to bring them both back to King's Landing.
Cersei's going to have her way with them. Yeah.
I think that they're going to kill Yara in a public execution or something.
Now, this really screws up the plans of Daenerys because, I mean, this was supposed to be... They didn't foresee this problem. Like,
Their fleet's gone.
right. So what does this do for
First
the...
step, I don't think their entire fleet's gone. That fleet was the one that was going to Dorne to bring the Dornish army back to start the siege. Because I'm also speaking because of the teaser for next week's episode shows.
I did not see that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But we see there's some other action happening out throughout Westeros with Daenerys' armies. But anyway, that fleet, I believe, was just part of it, getting the Dornish army to start the siege. But yeah, it's not looking too good for Daenerys' plans, considering that the first step of it has gone awry already.
She is being told by what's her name?
Olenna?
Olenna?
Lady Olenna
Yeah,
from
the old lady.
Tyrell, yes.
Lady Tyrell.
I think she'd take her advice. Be a dragon. That's what you're good at.
She's taking her advice. I think that's good for Daenerys, but it's dangerous for her relationship with Tyrion. And
So the whole big argument...
She hasn't, though.
True.
Yeah.
Good point.
Because if she took her advice, she would just go into steamroll King's Landing.
Right, so that the whole argument against that is that you'd be killing innocent people.
Yeah, and then you'd lose,
The moral ground.
Yeah, and the people would not want to follow you, so...
So do you guys agree with that? I mean, so Nick, you are the supreme king. Would you
And you got
attack...
some dragons.
You got some dragons.
Would you unleash the dragons?
Killing thousands of innocent people, but still winning? Or would you try some other route?
Well, what's at stake here? Like,
The Seven Kingdoms.
The Game of
The
Thrones.
Seven Kingdoms, yeah.
I mean you can rule by tyranny and hatred and fear, or you can try and win the hearts of the people, but then maybe not get the throne because you lost the battle.
I mean, maybe they'll understand. Maybe the people will be like, "Well, we get it."
We don't like Cersei that much either, so
you had to save the throne. You unleash the dragons. Yeah, some casualties. It's collateral damage.
she's going to break the wheel. It's going to be a whole different thing. I'm telling you right now.
I wonder about that now, though.
She's going to take away...
She's said in the past she wants to break the wheel and kind of put an end to, like, the normal monarch that we're used to. And yet, when she's talking about having Jon Snow come there, she's telling him he has to take a knee and bow to me as his queen.
She's still...
You gotta send the right message.
I think that Jon Snow's basically going to bring this idea of the free folk to her, something that she hasn't probably heard of before. Because I mean, she's seen Dothraki, she's seen the Unsullied, and she's seen slavers and stuff like that, but she hasn't seen like a free folk kind of thing. And
are these the only people in the realm that don't have a ruler? The free folk?
They had a ruler.
And pretty much. Well, they sort of like he was
alive.
He was sort of like an appointed leader, though.
He was like almost like a president, as opposed to he was almost elected. Basically, people chose him.
Almost like Jon Snow.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that he could really influence her, but that, of course, might butt their heads because who knows.
Now, what about Jon Snow leaving Sansa in charge while he goes off? Was that a good idea or a bad idea?
That's going to end up biting him.
Would you leave your sister in charge while you're gone?
No, probably not. Hard no.
Yeah.
Sorry, Nick's sister. I don't know. I don't completely dislike this move. I feel like Sansa is maybe a little bit wiser than I know she started as a kind of a whiny little ignorant child, but I feel like she's seen a lot now and is not dumb. She kind of.
I think she's very smart.
She's world weary and kind of. I think at the very least can hold the ship down. I do worry about Littlefinger's presence there and what that might mean for her. Yeah. But she's kind of taken no crap from him recently, so I don't know.
But now with Jon gone, maybe.
Yeah, I'm just afraid he's going to trick her in a way.
Maybe.
I think if I were Jon Snow, I'd be like, all right, Littlefinger, you're in the dungeon until I get back.
Or Littlefinger, you're coming with me. Yeah. Let's go see the Dragon Queen.
That would be interesting.
And then you go to the Dragon Queen, you're like, hey, this guy can't be trusted. Maybe we just feed him the dragon.
About that meeting I'm wondering about. His army. Something I'm wondering about with this whole meeting with them is he's bringing Sir Davos with him, and now the Red Woman, Melisandre, is there too. What's going to happen with that? I feel like we have a pretty interesting conflict there, considering how we left things off with them.
Were we getting a truthful conversation with the Red...
Melisandre?
Yeah, what is her title? Like
the Red Woman. She's the Red Priestess of the Light.
Right.
Yeah.
Were we getting she was being very deferential to Daenerys, but were we getting a true sense of her, or do you think she was hiding something from Daenerys?
I don't know. She's a hard one to read too. I've never really known exactly how to feel about her throughout the show.
She didn't bring a lot of good information with her. She just basically was like, I have a vision, but you can't always trust the vision. Yep. And that was it. She didn't give her any prophecy or anything else other than the Jon Snow part. It's shown her how
her faith though is decreased, because she used to be like, this is my vision, this is what's going to happen, and then you could see what happened to Stannis. And so I feel like now she's a little more weary and it's like, I'm not sure if it's going to happen.
I felt like her main role was just to kind of like vouch for Jon Snow in that moment.
Yeah.
Because that was just kind of like it was her and Tyrion basically be like, Jon Snow, he's a good dude. You should talk to him. I think you'll like him.
I like their messaging system. It's pretty quick.
Yeah, the Raven, bam, next scene.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it would take a little longer for him to get the message.
Very aerodynamic, those ravens. It's
and they're trustworthy. I mean, it gets right to the person you need to get to. Yeah. No one can intercept it somehow.
Well, you can if you shoot all the ravens.
I've
seen that before.
Yeah,
all the ravens.
But yeah, I mean, it is quite the plot device.
Funny that they don't put any thought into making secret messages or anything. Like, because if you got hold of that message, that's a lot of power. Like, if some other realm got the message, like, and knows that Jon Snow, I don't know. It just seems funny that you trust these messages so much. That
we don't have any ciphers or codes going on here.
I don't know. I feel like maybe they just don't have time, but
that would be kind of cool. Just good ravens.
Yes,
really.
Yeah, you got to have good ravens.
Do you have good raven service here in the north?
No, we only get one bar.
The ravens must have orders to rip it up after they get shot. You're like, oh.
But I think one thing we should talk about that's pretty important is Cersei now has a weapon to kill the dragons.
True. It took the finest blacksmiths and carpenters to make this weapon. I wasn't that impressed. Was this the first time it has been invented in this realm, I guess?
It seems like we haven't seen any siege weapons.
Did
Not
we see
really.
Did we see trebuchets or anything?
Yeah, on a sort
We
of.
saw one on the
boats
Battle of
when
the
they were-
Wall when they... Oh, no, that was just a giant bow and arrow. Never mind.
Yeah, but we've seen some catapults, like trebuchet type stuff, like when the slavers were attacking Marine that one time from their boats, and then on the wall they were using some siege type weapons.
It's
but
just
not,
a matter of getting it through the
nothing
skull of
like
the dragon.
this.
I think
Yes.
that it has to do more with the design of the arrow itself.
The test where they shoot the dragon skull and it's like,
yeah,
oh,
it's
it
a part of
cracks.
this, too.
It's like, come on.
That's odd.
Yeah, he's got a hide and everything, too.
Got a hide that's hundreds of years old skeletal
Scales.
skull.
Yeah,
right.
It's probably gotten a little weaker over the
Yeah,
years.
they've got dragon scales. I don't know. I mean, maybe it won't work when they finally use it. And is this just one, or are they going to have... This is like a prototype. They're going to have
I would have to
hundreds
imagine
of
they have at least more than one.
them. Okay.
It'd be interesting. I think-
Or they better
we
hope that
missed.
they have more than one by the time the dragons attack, because banking on one of them to hit all three dragons at some point in the battle is not.
I think that
the odds
Cersei's
are against you.
I think she's going to kill one dragon.
I think we're losing
so.
a dragon.
I think we're going
too.
to lose a dragon.
I'm
It's not
gonna
going to be
say she's
Drogon.
going to lose at least two.
Oh wow,
Ooh,
we're
really?
going two dragons.
Yeah, I'm going to say
Dag.
that the two minor dragons.
True.
Are gone.
Basically,
Not Drogon, basically.
think about it. As soon as a character becomes like, do we really need this character? They're dead. They're
Plus,
dead.
they save a lot of money in CGI.
True.
That's very true.
Yes,
But
okay.
like, I mean, any character. I mean, we saw this week with the Dornish and
Yeah, that's why you have multiple sisters, right? Just so you can get rid of some.
right, and but also just that they got captured. That they're like, because I was thinking to myself, like, what else are they going to bring in terms of character development? Oh, they're dead.
So the Dornish leader and Yara.
Yep, Yara and
So they're
Ellaria.
now having a relationship. They're both still alive,
Yeah.
and they're both taken by the same guy. So maybe we're going to see one try and rescue the other.
Maybe. Though I feel like they're both going to be prisoners, and I kind of feel like they're going to be short-lived at this point. Once they get to Cersei, well, definitely with Ellaria, because Ellaria killed Cersei's daughter.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think they're going to sneak along, still be in the mix. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
One of them will.
Can we talk about Euron for a second? Because he took a lot of hits during that fight. Like a lot
Like
of
you got
hits.
shot in the neck with like a bow and arrow or
Yeah,
something.
He's a
Yeah.
tough dude. Come on.
Yeah, I was having a hard time with that scene, the way it was shot. It was
Yeah, I
really
was like,
hard to tell what was going
It
on.
was, yeah.
It was very
Like, very
dark.
fast.
It was
Who got
a lot
stabbed
of
up
really
between
kind of
the legs?
shaky cam.
Was that
just
that
one
him?
random dude. Oh,
It was just a random guy?
That hurt to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't your.
I
don't think
originally
that was
thought,
Euron.
that
I
he was
thought that
going
was Euron. I thought he was going
Yeah,
to.
the way they
thought
were
it was
cutting
him.
around and stuff made it really difficult to know what exactly was going on.
Can I give you some advice when you're taking over another ship and
Yeah.
you lower your big arm and you
Yeah.
go and attack? If you're the leader, hang back. Let you guys do the fighting.
Well, I think this was a
That's
nice
not a
character
way to
moment
lead
for
them.
Yeah,
Euron,
it
because
shows
it lets us
what
know
kind of
how
character he is.
crazy this dude
Yeah.
is, because he just goes running in, guns a-blazing, hacking dudes with a giant axe, and just screaming like a madman.
That's
So-
the qualities of a good leader. One man who will fight in the front of your
and is
line.
I guess.
just crazy and has a maniacal laugh.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, he is crazy. He is insane.
yeah. I think we needed something
your
like
uncle
this
a
for
kiss.
Euron, because up to this point he's just kind of came in at the very tail end of
Right,
last
we didn't
season.
really see it.
We only saw him in his weird like goth rock star outfit in the first episode,
Right.
and like we just haven't really like, who is this dude? He just kind of showed up, you know, and so we needed something to kind of get an idea of who this guy is, and I think we get that in this episode.
Yeah.
Why didn't the Dornish use any poison on any of their weapons? Like, it seems like
They weren't ready for battle. I mean, they were.
Yeah.
This is unexpected.
it seems like they're so dangerous that like they would just have knives that were just poisoned daggers. and they, when they.
Well, I think they under normal circumstances they would have done quite well, but they were just outgunned.
He's in the middle of the night. They're on a ship.
I think
it's not their battlefield.
They
were
think they were a little
drunk.
cocky too.
Yeah.
They kind of think they're like, oh yeah, we're just gonna sail down, get our army, start a siege. This is gonna be nothing. And then out of the dark of the night comes Euron, screaming like a banshee.
Yeah,
biting their ships with that crazy contraption they got going on,
and then hitting it from underneath.
Yeah,
just wiped them out.
It was intense.
that was crazy. That was a good scene. We got our first battle.
Yep.
It was nice to see.
That's what's amazing about Game of Thrones is that they can keep it coming episode after episode, make it so fun to watch, and you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, so many of these scenes, no way we knew that any of this was coming. Like that Arya would bump into her childhood friend. I mean, like all these just little things that you're just leave me like, wow, that's so cool.
I was getting really excited hearing all these big names like in the same scenes, like Jon Snow, like Daenerys said Jon Snow. Oh my God! Like
these characters have never been on screen together in the entire run of the show. So I mean, it's gonna be really cool to get them together.
Yeah, I would say that this episode was better than the first one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I liked it a lot.
So now the Dornish army still alive and well.
They're still there, but they just have no one to command them. They don't know what's going on. I mean, I guess they could maybe try to send a Raven, get them over there, but they don't have a fleet to bring them there now.
Yeah. And they don't have like a leader.
Oh, and let's go to this point. So, Cersei's brother,
Jaime,
he's trying to convince Sam's father to go with him.
Yes,
but it's not clear whether he is going to go with him. Which way do you think he's leaning?
I think he's going to go with them.
I think so too.
With the Lannisters?
Yeah, I think when Jaime brings up the part about the foreign invaders, that his sense of like pride and
but
country.
then we get Tyrion talking about how he knows that is going to be their strategy, so they're going to go the opposite way. So do you think that now that they're not doing a foreign invasion, that maybe he'll go the other way?
Well, the tricky thing that's going to be now is that they've kind of lost part of their strategic maneuver, which is the Dornish army. So now what are they going to do? I mean, they have the Tyrell army, but is that enough? Are they going to have to bring in like the Dothraki to keep up the siege? I don't know.
Are there other armies that we're not thinking about, like the Freys or the Littlefinger army, that are going to play into any of this?
Well, the Knights of the Vale are in the north right now, so they're on Jon's side for the moment. The Freys, as far as I know, are pretty much done.
Yeah,
I mean, they might have some sort of small army, but I mean, the whole Frey family's dead, so.
Think about what this means, though, for Daenerys now. I think that this means that, now that Daenerys has lost a bit of her fleet, I think this changes the game a little bit. Now she kind of needs Jon Snow, in a way. So she's probably going to be less like, bend to the knee and more like, can you help, please? So,
do you think that she'll find out this information just as, like, Jon Snow arrives, and so she was going to go one way, but now she goes another kind of thing? Like, that could change the whole dynamic? I don't know.
She'll use the Dothraki in the siege now.
Yeah,
that's my prediction. Now I have one other question. The Unsullied, right? They've been.
Yeah, we get a love scene.
Well, yes, but I'm talking
not
about
necessarily long love scene
in general. With the Unsullied, they have been with her since pretty much the beginning of her reign, right? And they've been sort of getting killed left and right. I would like to point out, like. How many did she have to start with? There's some pretty big
battles in Marine. I don't remember the exact number. It was a lot, but there's been a number that
like, what, like 8,000
I think, right? Only 1,000.
Was it? I thought it was more than that, but anyway.
Maybe their ranks have grown as people have wanted to join up,
But they're not, you couldn't...
Maybe they're sullied.
Yeah, these are sullied.
We have a question for Nick.
Okay.
What made the love scene unusual? This is the leader of the Unsullied and the translator.
Yes. What do we know about the Unsullied?
I don't know anything about the Unsullied.
Well, let's just say,
What does it take to be an Unsullied? What's a main factor?
That is something I also didn't know.
What does it take to be a man, Nick?
There's no...
He doesn't wield a sword, if you will.
What?
He doesn't wield a sword.
No, I get what you're saying. I understood the euphemism, but...
That's part of how they make them Unsullied, is that they make them eunuchs before they're trained. So so kind of an interesting
so it was a sex scene without the sex.
No, it was a love scene, which is he's going off to battle, and now the one thing he fears is losing her. I wonder if that's gonna be a problem.
Well, he knows it's his weakness.
It was a nice character scene. I felt like it played out a little kind of cheesy to me. You know,
They could have done without it, to be honest.
A little corny. I felt like they could maybe have done something because, I mean, these characters have had a connection for a while now, and so they've been sort of building to this, but I felt like they could have maybe done it in a more interesting, less cliche way.
More interesting, more condensed.
I feel like they just put it in there for the nudity, like that they really needed. Like there hadn't been a nudity for a while.
Yeah,
and they're like,
it's been mostly just killing.
The nudity ratio's going down.
Yeah.
It must increase.
Yeah, I mean, they really had to. Yeah, they had to get someone naked in this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's also showing, though, that the freedom that Daenerys has brought the Unsullied has sort of caused them to become a weaker army.
Ooh,
in a way.
Hey.
Is this what we're talking about with
Yeah, I
democracy?
like that aspect of the scene and when Grey Worm's talking about how before he had no fear and that he was always the bravest warrior, but now, kind of piggybacking off what you just said, now that he kind of has this freedom, he's kind of starting to fall in love with Missandei, I think her name is, the translator, is that now he has fear
They're kind
because
of
he has
coming
something
up with
to
their own
lose.
lives. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
All right, time for predictions. We will start with Nick. Predictions for the next episode. I like this sword, by
I think
the
they're
way.
going to try and kill a dragon, and it's not going to work.
All right, nice, safe assumption.
Okay.
Okay. I think Yara and the Dornish leader, they're going to be in chains, and there's going to be some kind of secret lovers scene.
Okay.
I think that Solid are going to fail taking Casterly Rock.
Ooh,
That's what I was going to say too. I'll have to come up with another one.
Oh,
That's why I think
no.
they're going to invade and they're going to lose.
Really? Okay, Bobby, what do you think's going to happen in the next episode? Something with Ed Sheeran? Maybe he's going to sing his little song?
I'm done with Ed Sheeran. Goodbye, Ed Sheeran.
I'm afraid he's coming back.
I think that we're going to see what's going on with the Hound. I think we're going to go back to that.
back
I
to the
think
Hound.
the Hound's going to reach Winterfell or something.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens there. But the Hound knows Sansa. So, you know.
Yeah, we've forgotten. I mean, there's definitely they're a powerful group, right? They can see into the future, and
Right.
does he have any information that's important to Jon? Not
I
really.
don't think so.
He knows what Jon kind of knows already.
Yeah, pretty much.
But he is a good fighter, so that could be helpful.
Yes.
I think.
And then I'm going to predict that we're going to get some stuff for Bran next episode. We're going to get some war, maybe not war game, but we're going to get some green seeing where we're going to see some more stuff with the White Walkers.
That's right, because I forgot Bran is now at the wall.
Yeah,
And,
he's past the wall now, so I think we're going to have some interesting visions with Bran that are going to reveal some happenings with the White Walkers that are going to be very concerning for the North.
Yes.
All right, so let us know your predictions for.
Yes.
My sword's a little bent.
Oops,
That's not gonna do well in.
Yes.
It's all right, I got a needle here.
All right. Tell us what you think is going to happen in the next episode, Season 7, Episode 3 of Game of Thrones. Till then,
I'm Bobby. And you're watching
Game of Thrones with the Now You Know crew.
yeah.